Imagine waking up one morning with nothing. No house, no electricity, no supermarket, no hospital, no phone, and no modern weapons. Around you are vast forests, open grasslands, freezing nights, dangerous animals, and an unpredictable environment. Now imagine that this isn't just one difficult day. This is your entire life. For the earliest humans, survival was not a choice. It was a daily battle. So how did humans survive in a world where almost everything seemed stronger, faster, and more dangerous than them? How did they find food? How did they protect themselves? How did they survive the cold? And most importantly, how did they become the species that eventually transformed the entire planet? This is the story of the first humans and their struggle to survive. Before we begin, there is something important to understand. There was no single person who could be called the first human. Human evolution was not an event that happened overnight. It was a process that took millions of years. Our evolutionary ancestors gradually developed traits that eventually led to modern humans. And around 300,000 years ago, anatomically modern humans known as Homo sapiens appeared in Africa. But these early humans did not live anything like us. They had no cities, no roads, no farms, no modern medicine. Their world was completely different. Every day brought new challenges: finding food, finding water, staying warm, avoiding predators, protecting children, and surviving injuries and diseases. A small mistake could sometimes mean death. The first rule of survival was simple: find food. Early humans depended heavily on what nature could provide. They gathered fruits, nuts, seeds, roots, edible plants, eggs, insects, and other available foods. In some environments, they also hunted animals and scavenged meat, but hunting was extremely dangerous. Imagine trying to hunt without a gun. You have no vehicle, no GPS, no modern equipment. You have to understand the animal's behavior, track it, work with other people, and get close enough to kill or capture it. This required something humans were especially good at: cooperation. A group could search a larger area, communicate about food sources, and work together during dangerous situations. Humans didn't need to be the strongest animals in the environment. They needed to be smarter and more organized, and that made a huge difference. Then came one of the most important technologies in human history: fire. The exact history of when humans first controlled fire is complex and still debated, but its importance to human survival is undeniable. Fire provided warmth during cold nights. It provided light after sunset. It could help protect a camp from some predators. And perhaps most importantly, it allowed humans to cook food. Cooking made many foods easier to chew and digest. Picture an early human camp at night. The sun has disappeared. The surroundings are dark. Wild animals could be nearby. But inside the camp, a group sits around a fire. For these people, that small flame represented warmth, light, food, and protection. Fire wasn't just something useful. It became a powerful survival technology. Another major advantage was something that seems simple today: tools. Early humans learned to shape stone into useful objects. Sharp stone edges could help cut meat. They could process animal hides. They could break bones and other materials. They could also help shape wood and other resources. Over thousands of years, human tools became more advanced. Spears and other hunting technologies allowed humans to attack prey from greater distances. But the most important thing wasn't the tool itself. It was the mind behind it. Humans could think ahead. They could plan. They could learn from mistakes. And they could teach others how to make and use tools. A single human might be physically weaker than a large predator, but a group of humans with tools, communication, and a plan was a completely different challenge. Food wasn't the only problem. Humans also had to survive the environment. In warm regions, protection from the sun and rain was important. In colder environments, staying warm became a matter of life and death. Early humans could use natural shelters such as caves and rock shelters. They also created temporary shelters from materials available around them, including wood, grass, leaves, and animal hides. Clothing became particularly important as humans moved into colder environments. Animal skins and other natural materials could help protect the body from freezing temperatures. This reveals something important about human survival. Humans didn't simply become stronger than nature. Instead, they learned how to adapt to it. But there was something even more important than fire or stone tools. It was something humans had naturally: social cooperation. Humans are highly social animals. Living in groups provided enormous advantages. People could search for food together. They could warn each other about danger. They could protect children. They could help injured members. And they could share knowledge. Imagine discovering that a particular plant is poisonous. If you survive that mistake, you can warn others. That information can then be passed to children. Those children can pass it to their children. Over generations, knowledge accumulates. This ability to learn and share information became one of the greatest advantages humans ever developed. The world of early humans was not simply dangerous because of predators. Nature itself could be unpredictable. Droughts could destroy food sources, extreme cold could become deadly. Floods and storms could destroy shelters, injuries could make hunting impossible, and disease could threaten entire groups. When resources became scarce, humans had another solution: movement. They could follow animals, search for new water sources, move toward areas with better food, and eventually migrate across enormous distances. Over many generations, Homo sapiens spread from Africa into different parts of the world. They encountered completely different climates and environments, and each time they had to adapt. So why did humans survive? Was it because we were the strongest? No, the fastest. No, the biggest. Definitely not. Our advantage came from a combination of abilities, intelligence, cooperation, communication, tools, fire, and above all, adaptability. Humans could change their behavior when the environment changed. They could learn from previous generations. They could solve new problems, and they could work together. That combination gave humans something extremely powerful: the ability to survive in environments they were never physically built for. Today, most of us live surrounded by technology. We have houses, electricity, medicine, transportation, supermarkets, and countless machines designed to make survival easier. But millions of years ago, none of this existed. Our ancestors faced a world filled with uncertainty. They were not the strongest creatures on Earth. They were simply intelligent enough to adapt and cooperative enough to survive together. And perhaps that is the most incredible part of human history. We didn't inherit a safe world. We learned how to survive an unsafe one, and from those early struggles, human civilization began.